Hi guys, welcome back, and I've got an Olight review for you. And I know Olight reviews are not particularly popular because there's loads of them out there, but this was one of the products that I really liked, and I didn't realize it came with this added function. It's something I've been looking at for a while, the Arkfeld. So this fits into the new kind of slim EDC torches that are becoming really popular. So they're not too bulky in the pocket, and they fit nicely without digging into your leg and all that kind of thing. And I had been looking at these, and then I saw that they have a model that has UV, and I use UV for work because I do a lot of sealing of ammunition. So we have a special UV sealant, and we basically seal primers and necks and stuff like that just to stop water ingress, and the sealant cures with UV. So I just drop that on there, and then I need a UV torch handy when I'm just building small quantities for testing and prototyping and whatever. And someone nicked the last torch. It was that was an Olight as well, a little funky sort of teal and pink one, and I think that colour was very attractive to one of the other members of staff, and they've pocketed that and they use that all the time. So I kept nicking it back off their desk, and eventually I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get a UV one so I don't have to keep nicking theirs off them. And this was what I found, and I was really pleased because, like I say, I had been thinking of getting one of these just because in the market of these kind of slim designs, which I like the look of, this was one of the most cost-effective options. There's like a Surefire one. I'm not sure if that came out first or the Streamlight one, but the Surefire one is crazy expensive, you know, and I would love to get hold of one of them and review it, but I just cannot afford to spend 300 odd pounds or whatever it is on a torch. And then Streamlight have got one that's kind of middle of the price range, I guess, and this was the lower end of the price range. And you can pick these up if there's a sale on, you know, 50 or 60 pounds. If there's, you know, normal pricing going on, I think they're about 70 pounds, something around that range. I'll drop a link down below. I'll chuck an Amazon link up or whatever. And I picked this up in a sale. I think we paid about 60 pounds for it, something like that. And I've just been putting it through its paces, and I'm really impressed. So slightly unusual, it works on this sort of dial system at the front, so that dials between a UV and an LED. Now the original one they came out with dialed between a laser pointer and an LED bulb, you know, a standard torch. I just don't have any use for a laser pointer, but if you're someone that does presentations and you need something like that, or you've just got a cat and you want to drive it absolutely insane, then get the laser pointer version. If you're someone that needs a UV capability, then buy that one. Why would you need UV capability other than for what I do in ammunition? Well, it's actually pretty handy, and it's kind of gross as well. Like if you go to a hotel room and you want to see how clean stuff is, get the UV out, just stick it on, and it will actually show up all the kind of dirt and grime. Don't know if I can maybe show something on here. I shouldn't be too dirty, but you can see it moving across my shirt. And if you run that across a bed sheet in a sort of a darkened room, it will actually show you anything that's gross on that bed sheet, which is pretty grim. But you could also use it for looking across your carpets. You know, if you're worried that a cat got in and did something on your carpet and there's a funny smell and you can't see anything, you can run a UV light round and that'll show you really quick where the problems are. So it's pretty handy actually to have one around. And you might have also one of those UV markers that people use for kind of writing on their expensive equipment, you know, anti-burglar marker or whatever. Some of them show up under UV only, so you could also use it for that. So it's definitely got function, and you've got the UV setting there, and then you just flick that switch around and then you go into your normal torch mode. So that's moonlight, a bit brighter still, and that's maximum brightness through the modes. But then if you click it off and double click that central button, it will take you immediately into turbo mode, which I think chucks out about 1,000 lumens, and it hasn't got as much throw on it as like the Baton 3 Pro, but it's not designed for that. You know, this isn't a tactical torch designed for kind of searching through hedgerows or whatever. This is more of a practical, have it in your car, have it in your pocket, have it in your tent or whatever, and you're going to be using it for doing basic tasks. On the Moonlight mode, it'll run for about 8 days on a charge. It's got a 1050 mAh battery in there, and of course, classic Olight, it's got that amazing charger on the back end, which also allows it to magnetize to stuff, and then you can mount it on something. It's enough to stick it on there. So if you wanted to stick that on a, you know, a metal fixture or whatever while you're doing some work and just cast some light on what you're doing, it'll absolutely support its own weight off of that magnet. The chargers are really cool because they just snap straight onto the bottom, and you know, there's no hassle trying to jiggle around leads and whatever. They're just quick to charge. This actually charges up pretty quick. I think it charged within a couple of hours. When you turn it on, you've got your battery indicator on there. It's just those 4 little marks there that glow up on a green LED, and that will tell you how much battery you've got left, which is super handy, because the last thing you want to be doing is taking a torch out and you know, not realizing it's low on charge, and then you use it for a couple of minutes and it's done. Very comfortable to carry. You know, it does do what it says on the tin, which is this slimmer profile, fits nicely in the pocket. I just stick it in a cargo pocket that I've got a little band sewn in there in these Cry trousers, and I don't even notice it. It's really light, comes in just over 3 ounces, so it's well made. I mean, it's aluminium body, and it feels really robust, but it's just not much weight to it, which is ideal. You know, I don't want to be carrying great big bulky torches around all the time. If I've got bigger torches, I'll stick them in a car or stick them in a grab bag or something like that, but I don't want that hanging out in my pocket all the time and weighing my trousers down. I've got enough in there already, so that's ideal. Size wise, it's perfect. It's 4.33 inches long, and the width is only just below an inch, so very, very handy, fits nicely in the hand. And then it has been mildly waterproofed, so it's IPX7. You know, it's up to the job of getting rained on and stuff like that, or dropped in a small puddle. I wouldn't advise, you know, dropping it to the bottom of a lake and leaving it there for 20 minutes or anything. I don't think they're going to warranty that, but it's certainly up to, you know, being used in general bad weather without any problem at all. The UV setting on here runs at 360 nm. If that's a specific requirement to you guys, then, you know, you would note that down. I don't know why it would be. People might be using some equipment that's sensitive to UV and they have to have a special wavelength that it operates on. Like I said, for me, it doesn't matter. I'm just using it to seal stuff. And if you're just using it to kind of check your carpets or whatever, that isn't really going to be a big problem for you. Runtime obviously depends on, you know, which setting you've got it on, but like I said, on the Moonlight setting, which would be handy if you're camping and you just want to see what's going on at night, rooting through a bag or something, that'll run for like 8 days without a recharge. So that gives you plenty of use out of that for most trips. The Moonlight setting is 1 lumen. So you could, you know, like I say, it's just enough to just about see what you're doing, and it will maximize your battery life. If you go to the next lowest setting, I think that's 15 lumens, and then it jumps up from there each time to a max of 1,000 lumens on what they call the turbo mode. It does also have a strobe, so warning guys, if you're sensitive to strobe lighting, look away now. But if you click it 3 times, it will strobe. Which I don't think this is, you know, a tactical use kind of tool, but the strobe would be useful if you were doing signaling, for example. You're trying to get someone's attention. That would be the kind of thing I'd be looking to use it for. I wouldn't be, you know, trying to draw it out with a pistol and clearing rims with it. I think there are better options for that, pistol mounted light or whatever. Olight have got those and other companies have got them, but certainly for, you know, your general signalling use, this would be ideal if you're standing on one mountain top and your mate's over on another and you want to chuck him a signal to know you've got up to the top or something. Then the strobe's going to be a lot more noticeable to him than a singular light source. And I'll also mention the clip, which I really like these clips, similar to what you get on the Baton Pro. So it's really deep carry, so it sits literally up to there in the pocket, so it hardly pokes out at all if you've got it in a hip pocket. And then it has another option, you've got this kind of dual carry option, so you could carry it in that clip there, so it's head up, or the main part of the clip down there. Either way, and that gives you the option maybe to mount it on a bag in a different way or stick it on some webbing or whatever. You've got lots and lots of carry options on that, or you could just magnetize it to something, hang it off of a inside of a vehicle, whatever you want to do. For me, this is perfect. I haven't seen how it will perform over time, you know, so hopefully it will stand up to any abuse I throw at it. I know that Olight are really good with their customers. I absolutely love Olight's just general sort of customer service and their kind of little community that they've built. You know, they're one of the only manufacturers in the kind of EDC torch world that has really gone out of their way to build a huge loyal customer base. And even though people give them a bit of stick in the forums and stuff, I think they do that because they're so popular. And like a lot of things, you know, it's like Benchmade get a lot of stick in the knife forums because Benchmade make really good knives and people are kind of jealous of that and they're very popular, or Spyderco gets some stick, etc. And I think the same could be said for these. I've yet to find an Olight torch that I haven't been happy with that's let me down. So they might not be like the coolest brand, you know, that no one's ever heard of, and people in the EDC community want to talk about these really unusual brands that only are available in very limited quantities when they have a special drop, you know, when the moon is high and you've pulled out a bit of henbane and sent a signal to the gods or whatever. You know, that's all real cool, but personally I just like to go on a website and buy a bit of kit. I don't want to wait 6 months for the special time when I can get it. If that's your bag, Olight obviously isn't for you, but these guys always look after their customers. They've always got sales on. There's always like reward points and stuff, so if you do buy repetitive amounts of kit off them, you can build up rewards and get little things back. And also they do some limited stuff, so if you're a high level buyer and you've earned lots of rewards, you get access to some stuff that other people wouldn't get. Normally it's like torches in different designs, different colours, copper and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. I haven't managed to get to that level yet, and to be honest, I'm not a sort of huge torch collector, so I probably never will, but you know, they've got some really nice kit there, so maybe one day I'll bring you a review of one of their limited edition items. Who knows? But yeah, this is probably the 5th or 6th thing I've bought from Olight, and so far very pleased with it. For the money, I think it's superb. It does exactly what it says it's going to do. That's what I'm after, and I love the form factor. I love the price. I'll let you know if anything happens in the next few months with it, you know, that makes me change my mind, but so far it's a huge thumbs up for Olight. Have a good one, guys. I'll speak to you all soon.